Finally, congratulations if you see this before July 16. This message is not loud. It is not a shout of victory. It is a whisper of truth. If you are here reading this, listening to this, something inside you has already shifted. Something subtle, something sacred. You didn't stumble into this moment by accident. You aligned with it. You were ready for it. Congratulations not for a result, but for the awareness to recognize it. You have endured seasons others never saw. You've carried the weight of silence while still showing up, smiling, giving, hoping, even when no one else knew what it cost you. That is not weakness, that is power. A power born not from domination, but from discipline, from presence, from the decision to keep walking, even when no one was clapping. Your journey has not been easy, but easy journeys do not create deep people. The truth is, the longer your path, the more layers you've had to peel away, the more you had to let go of illusions, of ego, of the identity you once clung to, and that shedding, painful as it was, has revealed something far more honest, not who you were told to be, but who you are. Maybe for a long time you thought you were behind, that others had figured it out faster, that your pace was a problem, but now you see clearly the pace was not the issue, the depth was. You weren't late, you were becoming real, and finally, you are beginning to understand. This message isn't about motivation. It's not here to fire you up or push you forward. It is here to center you, to return you to what matters most, to help you remember you've already walked through fire, now walk in truth. You've already lost what was false, now live what is real, because something in your soul is different now. Not louder, just more quiet, more clear. You no longer need to explain. You no longer seek approval. You are learning to live with stillness as your foundation, with awareness as your compass. And so, congratulations, because you have reached the moment where something turns not in your circumstances, but in your spirit. This is not a finish line. This is a turning point. You no longer chase what is not yours. You no longer fight battles that do not belong to you. You no longer shrink to fit into places that feel too small for your becoming. You've learned to pause, to observe, to choose your energy wisely. This is not about achieving something. It's about realizing something, that everything you were looking for, the peace, the strength, the clarity, was never outside of you. It was buried beneath doubt, covered by noise, hidden under expectations, and now because you did not give up it has surfaced. Your strength is not loud, it is still, it is patient, it is disciplined. You have walked quietly through storms others didn't even see. And this moment, this message, is the echo of that quiet strength. It is the voice of your own soul finally recognized. So no, this isn't the end, this isn't the reward, this is a mirror, and what you see in it is not what you became, it is what you've always been. Now uncovered, now awakened, now remembered, so breathe deeply, stand with stillness. You are no longer the seeker, you are the presence, and from this day forward you walk not for approval, but from alignment. Not for control, but with awareness, not to become, but to be. So let this be said once more. Congratulations, not because something outside of you changed, but because you finally remembered that it was always within. And now it begins, finally. Congratulations if you see this before July 16. Pause for a moment, not because this is an announcement, not because this is just a date, but because if these words reached you now, before this mark in time, there's something unfolding and you are not outside of it. You are in it. You didn't arrive here by accident. Life doesn't speak in random sentences. It speaks in signs, symbols, quiet nudges that only a calm and prepared mind can recognize. So if you hear this message, it means your awareness is sharpening. Your ears are beginning to listen not just to sound, but to silence, to meaning, to truth. Why does it matter that you saw this before July 16? Because this message was waiting for a certain version of you to arrive. not the rushed version, not the distracted one, not the one overwhelmed by the noise of the world, but the part of you that's been watching quietly from within, that still part of you which understands that everything happens when it's supposed to happen, not earlier, not later, just now and only now. Timing is the secret architecture of the universe. A seed does not grow because it wants to grow. It grows because the temperature is ready, because the soil is fertile, because the time has come. So the question is not why the message is here. The question is, are you ready to receive it? You may think it's just a message. What am I being congratulated for? But you must understand not everyone arrives here. Many saw the same signs, but walked past them. Many had the same chance, but were lost in comparison, in fear, in judgment. They were still occupied by the voice of the world, not their own breath. They looked outward, not inward, but you somehow paused. You heard, you felt something pulling, that's why you're still listening. Congratulations not for winning anything but for recognizing. This is the beginning of mastery, the ability to recognize what matters, and to feel it, even if no one else claps, even if no one else understands. This moment is not for show, it is for the soul. Before July 16, before the line is crossed, you have been invited to prepare, not externally, not by buying things or saying things or proving anything, but by stillness, by clarity, by returning inward. Something is coming and something is already moving inside you. The date is a symbol, a door, a mirror. You're not just standing before a deadline. You're standing before a choice. You can choose to sleep and repeat, or you can wake up and rise, look around. The world is moving fast, faster every day, but inside you there is still one place that does not age, that does not rush, that does not panic. It is still, it is ancient, it is watching. That part of you is who this message is truly for. The part that knows there is no coincidence, that every breath, every encounter, every challenge was training. Quiet preparation for this season, so now you are invited, not forced, invited, because truth cannot be shouted, it must be recognized, and if you feel it, then your path is already unfolding beneath your feet, whether you see it or not. Do not wait for others to understand. Do not wait for certainty. The path of inner growth is rarely validated in the beginning, but it is deeply rewarded in the end. And what is that reward? Peace, purpose, presence, the ability to walk through the noise without becoming the noise, the ability to lead yourself before leading others. You've been prepared through storms you didn't deserve, silence you didn't ask for, and delays you couldn't explain. But now you're beginning to understand. Everything was timing. Everything was teaching. You were not being denied. You were being aligned. That's why this message says finally. Because now finally your heart has ears. Your mind has space, and your spirit is strong enough to carry what is next. Congratulations if you saw this before July 16, because what comes next will not come with ease, but it will come with power, with clarity, with meaning, and if your soul is awake now, then it is no longer about when you arrive, it's about who you become as you walk. And now the walk begins, finally. Congratulations if you see this before July 16. This is not about the date on your calendar. It is about the signal you have received within. Something invisible is moving. Something subtle is aligning. And if you've arrived here, listening, reading, feeling, then it means something in you is already ahead of where your life appears to be. What we experience in the outer world, success, transformation, recognition, is always delayed. It follows like a shadow follows the body, but the real movement always begins within, quietly, without applause, without validation, and yet it's the most powerful movement of all, because once the internal changes, the external has no choice but to catch up. You may not see it yet, but you are already walking ahead of your old self. Even if your world hasn't changed, even if others still treat you the same, even if your circumstances haven't caught up. The shift has already begun. It's happening now, quietly, where no one can see it, in your thoughts, in your breath, in your refusal to quit. The internal journey is sacred, it is lonely, and it is misunderstood, because we live in a world that values appearance over essence, noise over stillness, action over alignment. But what truly lasts is not what you do when others are watching. It's what you build when no one sees, what you commit to when no one is cheering, what you heal when no one is comforting you. That's where the true shift begins inside. This is why the congratulations is not premature. It's precise, because even before the world acknowledges you, you've already made the choice. You've already started walking away from what no longer serves you. You've already silenced 100 temptations to give up. That is no small thing, that is everything. Too often, people wait to see proof before they believe in progress. They wait for others to approve, to validate, to applaud. But this path is different. This path asks you to walk in silence, to carry the weight without reward, to plant the seed without demanding the fruit. And if you can do that truly, patiently, humbly, then the world will catch up in time. The results will come, but not because you chased them, because you became the kind of person who could hold them. That's what this message is honoring. Not just what you will become, but who you are becoming now without recognition. Not the person who's already arrived, but the one who is still climbing, still refining, still trusting. The one who doesn't just want change, but embodies it breath by breath, choice by choice. Sometimes we ask, when will my life change? But life mirrors what is already happening within. So instead, the question becomes, what have I chosen to change inside me that life will soon reflect? If you've been watching your thoughts, managing your habits, refining your emotions, then you are not waiting. You are preparing. The shift has already begun. This is why the timing of this message matters. July 16 is symbolic. It represents a crossing, an energetic threshold, a line between the old and the new. But that line isn't something you step over once. It's something you cross with every decision, every mindset, every act of discipline when no one is around. Your external journey may still look the same job, same relationships, same surroundings, but the inner terrain is shifting. The questions you ask yourself are deeper. The things you tolerate are fewer. The moments of stillness are more powerful, and the distractions that once pulled you no longer hold you the same way. That is not coincidence. That is inner maturity unfolding, and eventually life must catch up to that. This is what it means to walk the path, to trust the process even when it seems nothing is happening, to water the roots even when the leaves haven't bloomed, to hold the vision even when there's no applause. It takes strength to grow in silence. It takes wisdom to stay committed without attention, and it takes courage to believe in what is still unseen. But those who do, they are never late. They are always early. Because the inner journey is always the first step, and if you are seeing this now, before July 16, then your steps are already aligned. You are not behind. You are ahead, not in comparison with others, but in evolution of self. So when you hear finally, congratulations, understand what it means. It means that you recognized the moment before the world could validate it. It means that you honored the internal shift before the evidence appeared. And that kind of knowing cannot be taught, it must be remembered from within. So now, the question is simple. Will you keep walking? Will you keep building what no one sees? Will you keep protecting the small light that has begun to burn again inside you? Because if you will, then soon the outside will reflect the inside. The world will not be able to ignore what you already know to be true, and that's why congratulations, finally, congratulations if you see this before July 16. Not everyone will hear this message, not everyone will understand. Some will scroll past it. Some will dismiss it as another moment in time. But those who are ready, those who are listening from a deeper place, they will hear it. They will feel it, because this message is not made of words. It is made of energy, of timing, of quiet recognition. You did not arrive here by mistake. You may have thought it was random, that you just stumbled across this by chance. But chance is just a name we give to things we don't yet understand. Nothing in your life has been without reason, and this moment, too, is one of those reasons. There is something sacred about recognizing a message before the world makes it obvious. There is power in feeling the shift before the crowd catches up. Many are walking in circles, but few are walking with presence. Many are searching, but few are still enough to receive. The fact that you are here, that you paused, that you are feeling this, that alone sets you apart. The call was never loud. It doesn't scream, it doesn't demand, it whispers, and you heard it. The whisper may have come through silence, through frustration, through exhaustion. It may have visited you during late nights when your thoughts grew louder than the world, or early mornings when you questioned your path. But something inside you didn't give up. You didn't stop listening. You didn't walk away, even when no one noticed, even when nothing made sense. You stayed open. And that openness is the beginning of transformation, because before the outer world changes, the inner one must awaken, and to awaken, one must hear, not with ears but with awareness, with presence, with spirit. That's what happened the moment you connected with this. It wasn't the words, it was your readiness that made them true. You've likely asked yourself, why do I feel different? Or why do I sense something deeper is happening even if I can't explain it? It's because you've started to separate from the noise, from the illusions, from the distractions. You no longer chase the things that once ruled your mind. You no longer crave what others are rushing toward. You're beginning to understand. Peace is not found in the outside world. It is found in the alignment between your breath, your thoughts, and your path. This path you are now on is not crowded. It's not glamorous. But it is real, and it is rare. Because while the world clings to external validation, you are learning to trust something deeper. You are learning to feel truth, not just understand it with the mind. You are learning to sit with the unknown, to breathe through uncertainty, to honor your own journey even when it looks different from those around you. That is why this message reaches you now, because you are no longer the person who needs to be convinced. You are not waiting for proof, you are walking in trust, and trust is the bridge between the unseen and the inevitable. Many people miss the call because they are too busy, too distracted, too skeptical. They want change, but only if it comes packaged with ease and applause. They want answers, but without questions, growth without stillness, healing without humility, and so they miss the moment. They miss the invitation. But you didn't. You heard something. You felt something. You followed it. And that is why this is a quiet congratulations, not for what you've achieved, but for what you've recognized, the beginning. The shift, the moment when your inner compass started pointing towards something real, something necessary, something that cannot be explained, only lived. This is not about July 16. It is not about a deadline. It is about alignment, about recognizing the door before it opens, about preparing the heart before the opportunity arrives. The ones who succeed in the deepest sense of the word are not those who are simply talented or lucky. They are those who responded to the call when it came, even when no one else heard it. Now you are here, and you must decide what to do with this awareness. Do you keep listening? Do you keep walking? Do you deepen your practice of presence, or do you go back to the old ways, the predictable noise, the familiar distractions? Because the call is not a one-time event. It's a rhythm, a pulse. It continues day after day, and it asks you to listen with your life, not just your ears. So if you are still here, still reading, still feeling, then know this. Something inside you is ready, ready for depth, ready for stillness, ready for the kind of change that does not fade, and that readiness is rare, so congratulations not for hearing the call once, but for choosing to answer it again, right now. Finally, congratulations if you see this before July 16. This is not the kind of congratulations that comes with trophies or flashing lights. It's not the kind you'll hear in a crowd or from a stage. This message is different, it's quiet, it's sacred. It's meant for those who have walked through silent storms and kept going. Because if you're here now, still listening, still breathing, still trying, it means you've fought battles that no one else saw. Battles that didn't make headlines, battles you didn't post online. Inner wars that left no scars on the skin but reshaped everything beneath it. You've learned how to carry weight while smiling, how to stay kind while breaking, how to remain soft in a world that rewarded hardness. That's not weakness, that's strength in its rarest form, and that strength is why this message is for you. Most people won't understand what you've carried, and that's okay. Your healing didn't need an audience. Your growth didn't require applause. The greatest transformations always happen in silence. Beneath the surface, where discipline meets pain, and resilience is carved by the hour. How many mornings did you wake up tired not from lack of sleep, but from the burden of continuing? How many nights did you lay in silence, holding yourself together, because there was no one else to hold you? These are the moments that shape you, not the ones people see, but the ones you survived alone, and yet, here you are, not perfect, not finished, but present, still listening, still open, still curious. That alone is worth honoring, because you didn't close yourself, you didn't shut down, you didn't become bitter, even when you had every excuse to. Maybe you didn't know it, but those moments when you chose peace over reaction, those were victories, when you showed up even when no one was watching. That was strength, when you kept loving, kept serving, kept hoping even while hurting. That was a quiet kind of courage most people never understand. And because of that, this moment, this message is not a coincidence. It's a confirmation. July 16 is not just a day. It is a doorway, a threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. And the fact that you're here before it means your soul is ahead of your circumstances. That your inner world is preparing for something your outer world hasn't caught up to yet. You see, growth doesn't announce itself. It doesn't always feel like power. Often it feels like loss, like letting go. Like endings, like loneliness. But that's because before anything can expand around you, it must stretch within you. All this time through the pain, the waiting, the stillness, life wasn't punishing you. It was preparing you, testing your depth, refining your spirit, teaching you to breathe through fire, to walk without answers, to find meaning even in confusion. That kind of preparation is never comfortable, but it is always sacred. So when you hear congratulations, understand what it truly means. It's not just a word, it's a recognition, a soft bow from the universe, a whispered acknowledgement from life itself. You've come far, and not many would have made it here with your heart still intact. This message honors the things you let go of without bitterness, the moments you chose integrity over convenience, the nights you cried but kept going, the countless times you encouraged others while you needed encouragement yourself. These are not small things, these are spiritual achievements, and they've shaped you into someone who is ready not just for success, but for purpose. Not just for recognition, but for responsibility. Not just to receive more, but to hold it with depth, wisdom, and grace. So don't dismiss this moment. Don't overlook this message. You're not being flattered. You're being seen, not for the mask you wear, but for the battles you've faced when no one was looking. Not for your potential alone, but for the strength you already carry. Now, life is calling for the next step, and it won't always be easy. The path ahead still requires faith, discipline, courage, but you are not starting from the beginning. You are walking with experience, with scars that have become sacred. with wisdom that was not given but earned. And if you can feel this message, truly feel it, then know this: you are not broken. You are built carefully, intentionally, spiritually. You've been shaped by silence, strengthened by solitude, and softened by storms. And now, finally, you are ready to rise, not with noise, but with presence, not with fear, but with awareness, not with force, but with calm knowing. So, congratulations, you have endured, and that endurance has already opened a door. All you must do now is walk through it. Finally, congratulations if you see this before July 16. But let this be understood clearly: this is not the end. This is the beginning, not a finish line, but a turning point. You are not here to rest in what you've done. You are here to realize what you're becoming. So many wait for some external sign to prove they've made it. They look for titles, praise, wealth, or attention. But what matters most is not what you receive, it's what you realize. Because once you become aware that change is already happening within you, you can never return to the old way of living, thinking, or seeing yourself. Not comfortably, at least. You didn't reach this moment by accident. This inner shift, this awakening didn't arrive overnight. It came slowly, silently, through all the moments you kept walking when quitting felt easier, through the difficult choices you made without reward, through the pain that didn't destroy you but humbled you. That's why this message is for you now, because something in your life is reaching a point of direction, not destination. You've climbed enough of the inner mountain to see further now. Not everything is clear, and that's okay, but the fog is lifting, the path is visible, and the energy has shifted. It is tempting to think that when something finally begins to feel lighter, it's the end. But this feeling, this internal confirmation, is not telling you to stop. It's asking you to move with deeper purpose. The weight has shifted not because the mountain disappeared, but because you grew stronger. You carry it differently now, more mindfully, more calmly, more wisely. Many people want breakthroughs, but they fear the responsibility that comes after. But the truth is, real change doesn't just free you. It entrusts you. It gives you not only awareness, but responsibility. Not only insight, but discipline. That's why this is a turning point, because now that you know, you can no longer unknow. Now that you've felt the shift, you can't pretend it didn't happen. You are being invited into a new level of yourself, not a different personality, not a louder identity, but a deeper alignment, more truth, more stillness, more integrity. So let this moment remind you: don't rush to celebrate too soon. Don't stop and look backward. The work is not over. The path is still unfolding, but now you walk it with more clarity. Now you understand that success isn't what you get, it's what you carry, and how you carry yourself when no one else is around. This new direction will require more of you, not more effort, but more presence, not more control, but more surrender, not more force, but more understanding. And yes, it might still feel uncomfortable. That's natural, because every turning point tests your readiness. It asks, will you honor the lessons you've received? Will you treat your awareness as sacred? Will you act from wisdom, not from reaction? Your old self will want to return. The habits, the impulses, the distractions, they will try to reattach themselves. But you must remember, you've already walked away from those patterns in thought, in feeling, in spirit. Now your actions must align. Now your days must mirror the shift you've already accepted inside. There's no going back. There's no pretending you don't know what you now know. And in that, there is power. This isn't a warning, it's a blessing, because life rarely gives us turning points that are this conscious. Often, we look back and realize the moment long after it's passed, but this time you're being offered a rare awareness. You are in the moment now. You can feel it, sense it, respond to it while it's still alive. So this is not about rushing forward. It's not about trying to prove anything. It's about moving with steady intent, quiet discipline. Deep humility. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to tell everyone. Just continue. Continue becoming the version of you that's already emerging. The one who speaks less but listens more. The one who demands less but lives more intentionally. The one who knows that power is not in control but in understanding. So yes, congratulations, not because you've finished, but because you've finally begun in truth. You are no longer walking blind. You are no longer chasing meaning. You are cultivating it within, and that is why this message found you. Not because you have arrived, but because you're finally moving in alignment with where you were always meant to go. Keep walking, finally. Congratulations if you see this before July 16. This message is not a destination. It is a mirror. It does not reveal something new. It reminds you of what was always there waiting, quiet, alive within you. The path you've been searching for was never outside the teachers, the signs, the battles, the shifts. All of them were leading you to one simple truth. You are the journey itself. There is nothing missing in you. There never was, but in the noise of life, in the chase for recognition or belonging, it was easy to forget, easy to look outward, easy to believe that healing would come from someone else's words, that meaning would arrive wrapped in success, that peace would live at the top of the mountain. But mountains don't give you peace. They simply make you quiet enough to hear it again. You are not here because of what you gained. You are here because of what you remembered. You remembered to pause, to listen, to feel, and in that stillness something opened, a door, a breath, a subtle truth. This journey, all the seeking, the climbing, the hoping, was never about becoming something else. It was about removing what you are not. You were never too broken, never too late, never too far behind. You were simply learning to come home, to return not to the world but to yourself. And that is why this moment matters. Because many chase transformation, but few allow recognition, recognition of their own light, their own capacity, their own truth. And the moment you recognize this, the chase ends, the search becomes practice. The question becomes silence, and the effort becomes breath. You are not lost, you are awakening, you are not starting over. You are finally seeing that you've always had what it takes, not because you were given some special path, but because you stayed. You endured, you humbled yourself through failure, you softened in the face of confusion, you let go of what no longer fit, and that alone is sacred. The strength you admire in others, it's already in you. The clarity you seek in life, it is already within. The stillness you pray for, it waits inside your breath. So the truth is, you're not arriving at a turning point. You're remembering that you are the turning point. That the world outside can only reflect what is already happening within you, and this message is proof of that. You didn't find it, it responded to your energy, to your readiness. You aligned with it, not because of luck, but because something in your spirit finally opened wide enough to receive. This moment is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not meant for attention, it's meant for realization. That your life is no longer defined by the past, that you no longer need to wait for the world to change so you can be free, that you no longer need permission to live in alignment. You are the permission. You are the path. You are the message you've been waiting for. Everything that felt like delay was part of the design. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every painful silence, all of it brought you here. Not to reward you, but to reveal you, to bring forward what the world tried to make you forget, that your breath is a compass, that your awareness is the teacher, that your willingness to begin again and again and again is your greatest strength. So if this message feels different, it's because you are different now. You're no longer looking at life through the eyes of the old version of you. You're sensing the truth from within, from the core, from the center that never left you even when you left it. There's no need to rush anymore, no need to prove, just walk, breathe, listen, let your steps echo the truth that you've returned to yourself. To now, to this very moment, the only moment that ever truly mattered, and maybe that's the most powerful realization of all, There is no end to this journey, only deeper remembering. There is no final arrival, only continual unfolding. You don't need to become. You only need to be completely, consciously, and without apology. So if you see this before July 16, understand what it truly means. It means your awareness is tuned. Your energy is ready. Your timing is not off, it is exact. You didn't miss anything. You were never behind. This message is not the first sign, it's the confirmation that you've been on the path the whole time. You just needed to quiet down enough to see it. So, congratulations, not because something outside of you changed, but because something within you awakened, and that changes everything. Not applause, not approval, not even understanding. You have heard what needed to be heard, not with your ears, but with your inner clarity. You have remembered what was hidden, not by the world, but by doubt, and you have arrived not at the top, but at the center. This is not a celebration of what you've achieved. This is a moment of sacred recognition of who you've become through the storms you did not speak of, the work no one saw, and the discipline you held in silence. The world may never understand what it took, but you will, and that is enough. You are not here to be loud. You are here to be true. You are not here to impress the surface. You are here to embody the depth. So walk forward not with pride, but with peace, not with the desire to prove, but with the stillness of one who knows, because when the spirit aligns with truth, there is nothing left to fear. There is only the next breath, and the quiet, unwavering path that follows. Congratulations, not because it ends here, but because from here it truly begins.